Behind me is a rose bush, and this is a special rose bush. This is a rose bush that was actually my wife's grandmother's, and it's been transplanted into our yard, and it's really pretty when it's blooming, which is hopefully pretty soon, and it gives us a lot of joy. I'm bringing this up today because it reminds me of a woman who we read about who lived in a land which was not her ancestors' homeland. It was a land which was foreign to them. And her name is Hadassah, though you might know her as Esther. So Esther was a woman who was put into a situation which she had not chosen for herself. If you know the story very well, the King Xerxes had a banquet, and he didn't like what had happened when he called his wife to come and she didn't come. So he said, okay, you're not my queen anymore. And he had this basically kind of like a contest to figure out who was going to be the new queen. And guess who was chosen? It was our heroine, Esther. And the reason she was chosen was because, one, she was beautiful, like that rose, but it was more than just being really pretty. She was of really noble character. She made wise decisions. She seemed to be fairly selfless. She took the advice of those around her. And what's important about her is not just that, but what she did with the situation in which she found herself. If you know the story, if you've read the book of Esther, you know that the villain is a man named Haman. And the problem with Haman is he hates the Jews. And he hates the Jews because he's proud, and Mordecai, the uncle of Esther, chose not to bow down to him. And so because of that, he wants to kill all the Jews, Haman. And so Mordecai warns Esther of this situation, and he tells her that, you know what, it's possible that you are in this position for such a time as this. And maybe in your life, you are right where you're supposed to be because God has put you in a position to be able to do good. Now, it seems a simple thing for Esther to just go up to the king and say, hey, please don't kill my people. However, in this time and place, it was not something that was acceptable for the queen just to go to the king unannounced. In fact, she had to be asked to come. And so she came up with this brilliant plan, and through her wisdom, through her bravery, she was able to have the king come to this banquet and find out that Haman had this big, awful plot, and her people were saved. And these are the people that God had chosen to bring through whom he chose to bring the Messiah. And so the important things about Esther that I find are her noble character, her beauty, both inside and out, her bravery, her selflessness, and her willingness to be used in a situation that God had placed her in.